All right, we're going to talk about polynomial models in the real world, okay? So we have the n plus 1 point principle. For any set of n plus 1 points in the coordinate plane that passes the vertical line test, so essentially we don't want the same x to go to two different y's. There is a unique polynomial of degree n that fits the points perfectly. What that is saying is if I have 4 points, my degree is going to be 3. If I have 10 points, my degree is going to be 9. It has to pass the vertical line test, which means I can't have an x go to two different y's. I'm going to show you a real, how to do this by hand. It's not probably the most efficient method. Normally what we do is if we had a lot of points and this was a higher degree, what we do is we take our points and plug them into either a calculator or a computer program and then get the regressions for that. So a linear regression, it would give us the idea that if this would be, how close it would be to a line, a quadratic, a cubic, so on and so forth. I'm going to kind of show you by hand on these so that way you can kind of see it, okay? So I have 4 points, so I want to know the polynomial that passes through these points, 0, -3, 1, -1, 2, 5, and -1, -7. So it's 4 points, so by the n plus 1 point principle, I know it has to be a cube, okay? Now, the nice thing is if I plug in 0, I have -3 equals a times 0 cubed plus b times 0 squared plus c times 0 plus d. So I automatically know the value of d. It's -3, okay? So anytime I'm writing up these new equations, I'm actually going to put -3 in for d. So now, I'm going to go to 1. So I'm going to go -1 equals a plus b plus c minus 3, right? Because d is -3. I'm going to plug in 2, so 5 equals a times 2 cubed plus b times 2 squared plus c times 2 minus 3. And I'm going to plug in -1. So -7 equals a to the negative first cubed plus b times -1 squared plus c times -1 minus 3. Okay? So I'm going to add 3 over here and then see what I have, okay? And I'm going to simplify this. So when I add 3 over here, I end up with, so I'm going to rewrite that one here. So I'm going to change the order. So my variables are first. So a plus b plus c equals 2. 2 cubed is 8. So here I have 8a plus 4b plus 2c equals 5 plus 3 is 8. Now I have these negatives. So these negatives, so this is going to give me -a plus b minus c equals -7 plus 3 is -4. Okay? Well, if you look at these equations, you probably notice that the first equation and the third equation are almost opposite each other. That actually is really nice. So I could actually combine these two. So if I look at a plus b plus c equals 2, and -a plus b minus c equals -4, now when I combine these, I get 2b equals -2, or b equals -1. That's important. We always want to try and get the simplest variable as we can. So we used our first and our third. So we don't want to use our first and third. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use, I notice here I have negative, b's are going to go away. So I'm actually going to use my second and my third equation, okay? So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to put -1 in for my b. So this gives me 8a minus 4 plus 2c equals 8. And -a minus 1 minus c equals -4, or 8a plus 2c equals, I'm going to add 4 to the other side, 12. -a minus c equals, I'm going to add 1 over, That's going to give me negative, 3. Okay. Now I notice that here that I could eliminate either A or C. C is probably just a little bit easier just because I have a smaller number I'm going to multiply by. So this is 8A plus 2C equals 12. I'm going to multiply this bottom by 2. So negative 2A minus 2C equals negative 6. 6A equals 6, or A equals 1. Okay. Now I need to work back to C. So I can just go here. So I have negative times A is 1, negative 1 minus C equals negative 3. Add my 1 over, negative C equals negative 2, or C equals 2. There's that. Now I can write my equation. Okay. So my equation is going to be x cubed minus x squared plus 2x minus 3. There's my polynomial function that passes through these 4 points. Okay, so that's kind of doing it out by hand. You could use a calculator or a computer to do the same thing. Probably faster, to be honest with you, especially if we have a lot more points.